the internet was abuzz with shocking news about one of the most iconic couples in pop music. In the 70s, ABBA's Björn Ulvaeus and Agnetha Faltskog have captured the world's attention with their undeniable chemistry. But behind the scenes, their marriage was not as fairy tale as it seemed. Their relationship ended in heartbreak, and their breakup marked the end of an era. What really led to their breakup, and what impact did it have on Björn's career and personal life? Join us on our journey into the marital nightmares no one knew about: the wedding of Björn Ulvaeus and Agnetha Faltskog of ABBA. Agnetha and Björn's love story. Agnetha Faltskog first met Björn Ulvaeus, a member of the Hootenanny Singers, in 1968, but their love story did not begin until the late 1960s. Björn, who is 5 years older than Agnetha, was already in a popular folk band when he first saw the beautiful 19-year-old Agnetha. In an interview, Björn described the moment they met as if they had met an angel from heaven. Interestingly, Agnetha also admitted that she had a crush on Björn and the Hootenanny Singers long before they met. She thought Björn was the most charming man she had ever met. The musical connection between the two became immediately clear. Agnetha has just performed her first solo single on Swedish TV, proving her talent. At the same time, Björn was developing his career and working with Benny Andersson and Stig Andersson. Their shared love of music brought them closer and laid the foundations for their relationship and future collaboration. Together with Annie Frid Lyngstad and Benny Andersson, who had already written songs with Björn, they laid the foundations for the famous band ABBA. As their romance grew, so did their dreams. After dating for about 6 months, on July 6, 1971, Agnetha and Björn finally moved on to the next phase of their relationship and got married in the quaint village of Vurum. Andersson added a musical accent to the organ playing. After the wedding, they moved to a small apartment in Lilla Essingen. The couple gave birth to their first child, Linda Ellen Ulvaeus, on February 23, 1973, and a son, Peter Christian Ulvaeus, on December 4, 1977. This marriage not only confirmed their personal bond, but also paved the way for the formation of ABBA the following year. As the family grew, so did their happiness and the challenges of balancing family life with ABBA's growing fame. Although fame later brought difficulties, their early years were full of joy and mutual support. Their families were also delighted with the wedding. Björn's parents, Einar and Gunnar, were delighted to see their son happy. Their shared personal and professional experiences created a strong bond, and they found comfort and excitement in each other's company and in the bright future that awaited them. How did ABBA's fame turn the love story of Björn Ulvaeus and Agnetha Faltskog into a musical sensation? The growth of ABBA's community. ABBA's rise to fame was nothing short of extraordinary. Before ABBA gained international fame, Björn Ulvaeus was part of the popular Swedish folk hit band Hootenanny Singers, originally known as the West Bay Singers. The band had a huge fan base throughout Scandinavia and regularly topped the local charts. In addition to being a singer, Björn was also a talented songwriter, and his time with the Hootenanny Singers helped him develop his musical skills. During the band's tour of southern Sweden in 1966, Björn's life changed in many ways. While traveling, the Hootenanny Singers met another successful Swedish band, Hep Stars. Björn quickly became friends with Benny Andersson, the keyboardist of Hep Stars. Both Björn and Benny shared a deep passion for music, especially songwriting. Their shared love for coming up with melodies and lyrics quickly turned into a close collaboration. When they reunited later that summer, they composed their first song together, Isn't It Easy to Say?, which was soon recorded by Benny's band, Hep Stars. This initial collaboration launched the legendary songwriter duo. Over the next few years, Björn and Benny continued to support each other in their bands, lending their talents on guitar and keyboards during recording sessions. Their bond strengthened as they composed more music together. In 1968, they wrote 2 new songs, A Flower in My Garden, recorded by Hep Stars, and their first big hit, Ljuva Sextitel. The latter song, performed by popular Swedish artist Britta Borg, was an ironic cabaret song from the 1960s, 20th century. Although it was entered into the preliminary round of the Swedish Eurovision Song Contest in 1969 and was rejected, the song still became popular and established Björn and Benny's reputation as talented songwriters. They continued working together, and in 1969 they wrote another hit titled Spellman, which was also recorded by Hepstars. In May 1969, while filming a nostalgic hit special for Swedish television, Björn's life took another significant turn. During filming, he met Agnetha Faltskog, who later became his wife and a member of the band ABBA. Their meeting was crucial both for Björn's personal life and his musical career. Despite his increasingly close relationship with Agnetha, Björn remained busy with his musical endeavors. He continued recording and touring with the Hootenanny Singers, which was a great success. In 1970, the band even reached the charts of the Swedish radio Svensktoppen with their cover of the old hit Omkring Tiggen från Låsa. Produced by Björn and Benny, the song featured Björn's solo vocals and Benny's piano accompaniment. It stayed on the charts for an incredible 52 weeks, setting a record that would stand until 1990. Meanwhile, the collaboration between Björn and Benny went beyond working with their teams. Together, they began producing records for other artists under the Polar record company run by Stig Andersson, who later became a boss manager. One of their early productions was a Swedish version of Flower in My Garden titled Fröken Blacklint, performed by Polar artist Anna Lambert. It was one of Björn and Benny's first original productions, and established their role as emerging talents in the Swedish music industry. In December 1969, Björn and Benny took their collaboration a step further and recorded a new song titled She's My Kind of Girl. This song became their first single as a duo and marked the beginning of their musical journey together. Released in March of 1970, the song became a minor hit in Sweden and achieved even greater success 2 years later, becoming a top 10 hit in Japan. By this point, Björn had established himself as a respected figure in the Swedish music scene, not only as a member of the Hootenanny Singers, but also as a songwriter and producer. His collaboration with Benny continued to flourish and laid the foundation for what would later become ABBA. The combination of their creative talents and shared passion for music helped shape the early stages of what would become one of the most iconic music bands of all time. With Björn's background in folk music and Benny's pop influences, the duo created a unique sound that soon enchanted the world. Although Björn's career reached new heights and achieved extraordinary success, his personal life faced challenges. What exactly caused tension in his marriage to Agnetha Faltskog, which ultimately led to their separation? Was it the pressure of fame, the constant touring, or something more personal that caused cracks in their relationship? The burdens of fame. As ABBA grew in popularity, the pressures of fame began to affect the band members' relationships. The beautiful melodies that once connected them began to collide, slowly crumbling their personal lives. The demand for fame meant that they were constantly touring and promoting their music, which put a huge strain on their relationships, especially the couples in the group. Agnetha in particular had great difficulty coping with her busy travel schedule. She developed a severe fear of crowds, noise and open spaces, which made her feel guilty when she was away from her children. This fear deepened when she flew on a private jet during a storm. For this reason, going abroad has become even more difficult for them. Björn, however, believed that having a nanny to look after the children would allow the band to focus more on promoting their music and touring. However, this different point of view led to tensions between them. The constant travel and time spent apart put a strain on their marriage and made it difficult for them to balance work and family. As their relationship began to fall apart, it became clear that the four members of ABBA were struggling to find harmony not only in their music, but also in their personal lives. The pressure to maintain a professional atmosphere while dealing with personal matters became overwhelming for both couples. As ABBA's success grew, each member developed their own artistic ambitions, which made matters even more complicated. This led to conflict between them and a lack of unity in pursuing their individual dreams. The pressure to maintain their public image while dealing with private problems was mounting, and it was becoming increasingly difficult for them to cope. Although they tried to portray themselves as a cohesive group, the reality behind the scenes was very different from the ideal image they wanted to present. Despite his musical success, he and Agnetha, who had a strong personal and professional bond, eventually reached breaking point and decided to go their separate ways. It was a difficult time for both of them, and their separation affected the group dynamic. Shortly after Björn and Agnetha's divorce, ABBA decided to take a break in 10,982, which marked the end of an era. However, this was not the end of Björn's creative journey. Agnetha later admitted that she was devastated by the end of the marriage. Björn, on the other hand, explained that he tried to cope with the changes while being a good father to his children. He retired from his music career to focus on parenting and helping himself cope with the emotional pain of a breakup. Their divorce began a new chapter for Agnetha and Björn. Agnetha has released several successful solo albums and has also demonstrated her talent outside of ABBA. Meanwhile, Björn continued to work in the music industry and produced the musical Chess with Benny. Although they were no longer a couple, their shared experiences influenced their individual creative projects. Agnetha's search for her identity outside ABBA was particularly emotional. She struggled with the burden of the past while trying to build a new life. Ultimately, both Agnetha and Björn found solace in their music and conveyed their sadness in songs that resonated with fans around the world. Despite the challenges they faced, their shared history has left a significant legacy. Many of ABBA's most famous songs were inspired by their relationship and capture complex feelings of love and loss. The emotional richness of their music reflects their experiences as a couple and has left a lasting impact on pop culture. Through their creativity, they have transformed their personal struggles into beautiful art, connecting with their listeners in a meaningful way and ensuring that their legacy will last for years to come. How, despite a painful and difficult period, did Björn manage to return to the spotlight and overcome the problems of his failed marriage? Bouncing. After ABBA took a break from performing and recording, Björn and Benny turned their creative energies in a new direction. Musical theater. Together with famous lyricist Tim Rice, they created the musical Chess, which became a hit. Chess was a story full of drama and emotion, showcasing Björn and Benny's talent for writing powerful melodies. After the success of Chess, Björn and Benny created another important work, Kristina Fran du Vamala, based on the novels The Emigrants by Swedish author Wilhelm Moberg. The musical told the story of Swedish immigrants in America and was well received by audiences. But perhaps one of her most famous post-ABBA achievements was creating the musical Mamma Mia, based on ABBA's famous songs. This musical introduced ABBA's music to new generations and became a huge global phenomenon. Mamma Mia was so popular that it was later adapted into a hit film, further cementing ABBA's legacy in pop culture. Björn and Benny's work on Mamma Mia earned them numerous awards and nominations, including a Tony Award for Best Orchestration. Her original recordings Chess and Mamma Mia were even nominated for Grammy Awards. In 2044, Björn and the remaining members of ABBA performed together in a comedy music video titled Our Last Video during the Eurovision Song Contest. This film was touted as the first collaboration between all four members of ABBA since their split. Although each member filmed their roles separately, it was a special moment for fans who were looking forward to seeing the two again in some capacity. Björn continued to receive recognition for his contributions to music. He and Benny have been honored with the International Ivor Novello Award from the British Academy of Songwriters, the Music Export Prize from Sweden, and a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Swedish Music Publishers Association. In 2113, Björn, Benny and Swedish DJ Avicii collaborated and composed the anthem for the Eurovision Song Contest. It was another important moment in Björn's long and illustrious career. The song premiered in the finals of the competition, highlighting the lasting impact of ABBA's music on the world stage. In a bold move, British entrepreneur Simon Fuller proposed an innovative idea to Björn and the remaining members of ABBA, a virtual reality experience designed to bring ABBA's legendary performances to life for a new generation. Benny later confirmed plans for a virtual tour using digital avatars, which would allow the group to keep their legacy alive without performing together. While preparing for this virtual tour, ABBA reunited in the studio after decades of separation and recorded two new songs, I Still Have Faith in You and Don't Shut Me Down. The moment delighted fans who had long been waiting for new music and made headlines around the world. Björn's work also extended beyond ABBA. He worked with his longtime friend, lyricist Andreas Carlsson, on the English version of Thomas Ledden's musical A Piece of My Heart, demonstrating their deep friendship. Assuming his leadership position, Björn became president of SISAC, the International Confederation of Societies of Authors and Composers. which supports songwriters and composers around the world. In a groundbreaking announcement, ABBA unveiled its ABBA Voyage virtual concert program via livestream on YouTube. During this unique concert, digital versions of the group will perform in a specially designed venue in London. They also announced their first new studio album in 40 years titled Voyage, which contains 10 tracks, including previously released singles. The album was released in November 2021 and sparked great anticipation among fans. ABBA Voyage officially opened in May 2022 and offers an unforgettable experience of watching ABBA perform through virtual avatars. Apart from his musical work, Björn also shows his lighter side. From November 2021 appears in humorous Instagram videos with British actor Ian McKellen, in which they show off their knitting skills by making Christmas sweaters and other festive clothes. This fun and unexpected collaboration adds a fun twist to Björn's public image. In 2023, Björn and McKellen took their knitting talents to a new level when they announced that they would be knitting stage outfits for Kylie Minogue's residency at the Venetian, Las Vegas. Recently in October 2023, it was announced that Björn will be the keynote speaker at the Business Day at Burlington Spa in the UK. June 7, 2023. Björn is expected to share his insights on leadership, technology, artificial intelligence and innovation in the music industry, drawing on his decades of experience. This talented singer returned to fame, overcame heartbreak and found love again. Who did he end up with? The private life of Björn Ulvaeus. Shortly after his divorce from Agnetha, Ulvaeus found love and eventually married Lena Kalasho, a music journalist who shared his passion for art. The couple had 2 daughters and chose a more secluded life on a private island in Djursholm, a picturesque and affluent area north of Stockholm. Their time on Djursholm allowed them to enjoy their family life away from the public eye, and the beauty of the area provided them with a peaceful backdrop. However, between 1984 and 1990 they moved to the UK, where Ulvaeus embarked on an exciting venture, founding an IT company with his brother and exploring new opportunities outside the music industry. Unfortunately, after over 40 years together, Ulvaeus and Kalasho made the difficult decision to separate and officially end their marriage. This change in Ulvaeus' personal life paved the way for new beginnings and fresh relationships. While producing ABBA's long-awaited album Voyage in 2012, Ulvaeus met Christina Sauce, a product manager at Universal Music Group. Their bond blossomed, and the following year they began dating, finding companionship and understanding in each other. Ulvaeus and Sauce celebrated their love with a beautiful wedding on September 21, 2024 in Copenhagen, Denmark. The ceremony was led by the lovely Sandy Toksvig, which added a special touch to an unforgettable day. Beyond his personal relationships, Ulvaeus is known for his entrepreneurial spirit. He is one of the proud owners of Noteheads, a Swedish company that publishes Igor Engraver's innovative music notation software. Collaborating with fellow musician Per Gessler allows him to stay connected to the music industry while exploring new technological advancements. Ulvaeus is also a distinguished member of the Swedish organization Humanisterna of the International Humanist and Ethical Union. In 2006, he was honored with the Hedinius Award for his commitment to promoting humanistic values. Ulvaeus describes himself as an atheist and has openly shared his views on religion in various media appearances, inspiring deep conversations about faith and spirituality. Additionally, Ulvaeus has become a strong supporter of cashless transactions. The Guardian called him Sweden's leading anti-cash activist and explained that he became passionate about promoting electronic payments after his son was robbed many years ago. He believes that cash contributes to crime and claims that any activity in the informal economy requires cash. His commitment to a cashless lifestyle is extraordinary. He has reportedly been cash-strapped for over a year, and the popular ABBA Museum has been operating cash-free since it opened in May 2013, highlighting his forward-thinking approach to modern financial practices. The life of Björn Ulvaeus is a true picture of perseverance, overcoming difficulties and rising again both in his career and in his personal life. But his challenges didn't end there. What other obstacles did he overcome on his way? Life-changing challenges. In addition to his professional challenges, Ulvaeus also struggled with severe long-term memory loss. However, in an interview in 2009, He addressed these concerns, stating that reports of his memory problems were greatly exaggerated. He explained that the memory loss primarily affected the ability to remember specific events rather than overall cognitive abilities. In a candid moment in a TV interview with Frederick Skavlan, he reflected on his time with ABBA and said he didn't feel nostalgic, noting that it was good while it lasted. This openness shows his ability to accept change and move forward in life. The Swedish tax authority also brought serious charges against Björn Ulvaeus. He failed to pay the incredible sum of 90 million crowns, or approximately $128 million, in back taxes for a period ranging from 8 to 2005 years. They accused him of laundering his income from music royalties through various foreign institutions. To protect himself during the 2.5-year dispute, Ulvaeus decided to pay the taxes in advance. In October 2008, the District Administrative Court finally ruled in his favor, stating that he had never owed any of the 90 million kroner. Despite the difficulties, Björn recently had a moment of celebration. On March 21, 2024, all 4 members of ABBA were crowned by King Charles XVI. Gustav from Sweden received a prestigious award. They were appointed commanders of the first class of the Royal Order of Vasa. This extraordinary event was a significant milestone as for the first time in almost 50 years, Swedish citizens received the Royal Orders of Chivalry of Sweden. The 50th anniversary of ABBA's legendary victory at the Eurovision Song Contest was also celebrated. In addition to this honor, ABBA shared the spotlight with 9 other distinguished personalities, commemorating a proud moment in Swedish cultural history. How did Agnetha Faltskog deal with her heartbreak with Björn, and what significant successes did she achieve afterwards? Agnetha Faltskog's success after ABBA's times. After the breakup of ABBA, Agnetha Faltskog began a solo career, which quickly proved that she could make it on her own. Their first album after leaving ABBA, Wrap Your Arms Around Me, was produced by Mike Chapman and was a huge success. The album reached #1 in Sweden, Norway, Finland, Belgium and Denmark, where it was the best-selling album of the year. The album sold 15 million copies worldwide in its first year. 2 of the singles became hits. The Heat Is On dominated the charts in several countries, and the title song was also a success. This successful album confirmed to fans that Agnetha was a force to be reckoned with even after her time in ABBA. Agnetha continued her musical journey with the release of her second solo album, Eyes of a Woman, produced by Eric Stewart. This album reached #2 in Sweden and found a solid fan base in Norway and Belgium. The first single, I Won't Let You Go, was a moderate success in Europe, peaking at #6 in Sweden. Agnetha clearly showed the world that her talent goes far beyond the golden years of ABBA. A duet recorded with Swedish singer Ola Håkansson titled The Way You Are became a huge hit in Sweden, Norway and Brazil, further cementing her status as a successful solo artist. Her success brought her to the United States, where she traveled to Malibu, California to record her next album, I Stand Alone. Released in November, the album topped the charts in Sweden, where it stayed at #1 for 8 weeks, and became the best-selling album a year later. The single I Was the One, recorded as a duet with Chicago's Peter Cetera, marked Agnetha's second appearance on the Billboard Hot 100 and introduced her voice to a new North American audience. Despite her musical success, Agnetha decided to step away from the spotlight after the release of I Stand Alone. She withdrew from the public eye and spent the next 17 years away from the music industry. She devoted herself to a quieter life, astrology, yoga and horse riding in her secluded home in Åkerö, Sweden. During this time, she struggled with personal difficulties. Her marriage to Swedish surgeon Thomas Sonnenfeld ended in divorce. Soon tragedy struck. In 1994, her mother committed suicide, and a year later her father died, plunging Agnetha into a deep depression. In 1994, Agnetha started a relationship with a Dutch forklift driver, Gert van der Graaf. When she ended the relationship 2 years later, van der Graaf began stalking her, leading to a restraining order and eventual deportation to the Netherlands. His repeated attempts to return to Sweden increased the emotional burden she was carrying. Despite these difficulties, Agnetha found solace in reflecting on her life. She published her autobiography, Samjage. This book gave fans a personal look at her life offstage and delved into her personal struggles and triumphs. The autobiography was well received and sold over 50,000 copies worldwide. In addition to her book, she also released several compilation albums, including My Love, My Life, a collection of self-selected songs that reignited fans' love for her music. Thank you for watching. Like this video and subscribe to our channel for more updates. And while you're here, click on the video on your screen to see more breathtaking videos.